Let's do it.
Let's do it. Oh, hey, Alice.
Hi, didn't see you there.
Good timing. We got Wynton Existing in the building.
Hello.
Juicy Prevalence is out now. That's the first song he released in a while, right?
2 years. 2 years.
Wow.
It's a long time, at least for me.
Yeah. So how many releases does this make this?
So the single is going to be off an album I'm releasing in February called Sexual Death. And that'll be album number 3 for Wynton Existing. First album I wrote in high school. I released in like 2011. Then I formed a band, was in that band for a decade. COVID happened. I was stuck in my apartment and just like made my own studio in a makeshift room attached to my bedroom. Learned how to play all the instruments, played drums. Fucking suck at drums. But I tried, and that was Wicked Fabrications. That was 2020. And then Sexual Death, 2023. Yeah.
Hell yeah, man. You got a new single coming out as well.
Yes.
Pretty soon.
I think you saw it on that hotel rooftop. It's called Tom Tom Song.
Oh yeah, okay, cool.
That's one where
Yeah.
That was rad.
Yeah, all the crazy
one with the
noises.
toms. Yeah. That's what's up, man. It's good to see artists getting out and doing things again. Like there was a period of like where it was hard to do stuff. So yeah, it's refreshing.
Yes.
Did you grow up with music? Like in your house, like parents?
My dad had records. He like he gave me, well, for Wicked Fabrications, he gave me his jazz drum kit. He was like a jazz church drummer. And so I was around that sometimes. The cool thing about it is, yeah, I'm not really a religious person or anything, but I like sat in a couple times. They would have like Jazz Sunday at this church once a month, not playing any religious music, just laying down some thick ass jazz. It was dope.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
So yeah, pretty much I would listen to his vinyl records growing up, like the Beatles, the Who. I was just a kid. I didn't really know what was what. I just liked it. And I would say it wasn't until I was like 13, 12 or 13 until I wanted to give music a shot. I used to make like comic books, paintings. I just kind of tried all sorts of art forms to see what stuck.
That's what's up.
What were your comics about?
Well, I used to sell them in middle school. I'd like print copies for like 25 cents. And it was like Matrix, but there's like an asterisk. It was like the Matrix. And there's like people from Star Wars in it.
Okay.
And it was really stupid. Like I feel pretty good that all those people that bought these comics probably don't still have them. You know, I prefer that.
I'm interested though. I love Star Wars and the Matrix.
I still have it. I still have the original copies.
Okay.
Nice.
But I don't. I'll show them to my friends who I know won't judge me.
You should just mass produce it and just see what happens.
Oh,
it might be the next Marvel thing.
We kind of did something similar growing up when we were kids, except it was like we didn't even share it with anybody. It was just between us, like and a couple of friends.
A little culty, not gonna lie.
But it had like not Star Wars characters, but like Kingdom Hearts, which I feel like is even cringier probably.
Yeah.
What else? What else?
Final Fantasy.
Final Fantasy stuff. Yeah, yeah. It's pretty. We'd run around with sticks also.
You guys have
Very-
been lifelong buds?
Yeah, yeah. We grew up
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I love to see it.
12 or 13, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were both raised as Jehovah's Witnesses.
No
which is
shit.
funny.
Both of
Alex.
you.
Yeah. Which
Walk
is,
in today, it's
yeah.
on your doorstep.
yeah, that's
They know
We
they want
got-
you back.
yeah. But I was also homeschooled, so like all my peers were people in my church. And I didn't really like know anybody until
Yeah.
I was like 18. And then I started going to shows and like I kind of got away from all that. Live music did a lot for me. Especially when I was like 18, 19. And like I feel pretty confident to say the kind of stuff that you do and like just live music in general saves lives. It's like a really important thing. So if you didn't know that, it saves lives.
It really does. Save
Um,
mine, you know.
do you have any ghost stories?
Yes,
Okay,
I do. What a transition.
there will be more sharp transitions in the future.
I'm here for it.
Let's do it.
So ghost stories. This one's kind of interesting because like I feel like when you're like younger and you see things, you know, over time you kind of feel like, did I imagine that? Was that even real?
Yeah.
So this is probably when I was around, I want to say 14 years old. Me and my friends in Manheim, Pennsylvania, we used to play this game called Ditch the Popo,
Nice.
which all we'd do was just go out at night past curfew and go for a walk. Yeah,
That's
real
a good-
badass.
That's a
And
good game.
if we see a cop car, we hide.
Swipe.
Just made you feel like you're doing something
Yeah,
wrong by just
yeah.
going for a fucking walk. Because you know, like if you're underage, you can't be out past 11.
Right.
So one night, we were playing Ditch the Popo, and we were by this bridge, by this restaurant. It's like a bridge with a river underneath it. These two cop cars pull into the restaurant, and the restaurant's closed, and they point their lights towards us, and we're just like, "Oh shit! Did they see us?" And we all like get on our stomachs in the grass, and just started like army crawling towards the river. And this was probably around like 3 or so in the morning. We get into the river and we start walking down the stream a little bit to get further away. And we all saw this white figure standing in the middle of the river. It's like looked like a little girl or something. And I was just like, do you guys see that? And they're like, yeah. It was like, I think it was like two other people I was with. And we all saw it. And I remember we brought it up like a year ago. I brought it up to them, and they still like are like, yes, I remember. I did see that. It's just crazy that we all saw this white figure standing in this river, and we are just like, yeah, we should probably like get out. And I found out a couple months later that I don't know if it's relevant, but this old lady backed off of that bridge and drowned.
Damn.
I used to play in that river, and I started finding car parts. I'm like, oh, this is getting weird.
That's crazy.
So it's just a unique experience to have shared that with people,
Yeah.
to kind of like further validate it, because sometimes it's hard to tell when it's just you experiencing something,
Right.
you know.
My friend Jesse Stillwagon, shout out to Midgard Musings. He has a term. I don't know if it's his term, but I heard it from him. Was it unverified personal gnosis, UPG? You know, when you see something out of the corner of your eye, or even so far as like you conduct some magic ritual and speak to some demon, it's like if you do that by yourself, that's what's called UPG, because it happened. If objects start moving around the room, there's nothing really, unless you have like a camera or someone there to validate it. That's That's a term for that.
Yeah.
But the fact that several people saw it is that's very interesting.
It's a unique perspective.
Yeah.
I feel like, because even now, I feel like, as a now 30-year-old man, I'm just like, was that real? Did that really happen? And it's just cool that those people remember that too. You guys ever screw with Ouija boards?
Yes.
Yeah.
I have some stories. How about you?
I was gifted a Ouija board. I was living at my mother's house at the time. My mother found it, threw it away.
Oh, damn. I got one to show you.
Oh, you have one?
I kind of feel like that's an appropriate response to finding a Ouija board, though, because I personally would not use a Ouija board I just found.
You know where it's at? Phil?
It's so funny. The
in
box
the
says
second
like
room, I think.
the box says ages 7 and up.
Right. I mean, it was marketed as a game.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy that people. Yeah, I don't know. It's just weird how that.
Oh wow.
So that's what's called an invoking board. It's different from the kind of rectangular display.
Yeah.
So your standard invoking board also has a wishbone shaped planchet, and it has to do with like sacred geometry. But the difference being this one's a circle versus even the planchet's a circle.
Yeah.
So you could think of it like someone talking to you through a door or like over the phone versus like being in the room with you. So it's not confined to the board, it's confined to the circle of people around it.
So it's like a diet Ouija board. Chill. Safer.
That would probably be an evoking board.
The other one.
The other one.
Like rectangular.
Because this one, like with your standard evoking Ouija board, like the rectangular one, it's confined to the planchet. Whereas that's an open door, so it's confined to the people in the circle. So that means like you can experience I've experienced like channeling. A lot of the communication I've gotten isn't really through letters on the board. It's through direct communication. And as long as you have that circle, it's within everyone in the room, at least in theory. Take everything I say with a grain of salt, obviously.
Have you experienced that?
Yeah, I have some stories if you want to hear.
Yeah, summon 7,000-year-old demons
Alex
with a product made in China.
Yeah, hell yeah. Where else? So I'll make this quick because Alice has probably heard this before. But I guess I'll tell you about the first time. So me and this girl I was seeing, we decided we wanted a Ouija board, and I was kind of fresh out of, I've been out a couple of years, I guess, but I was pretty fresh out of being in the cult I was in. So I had like kind of
the Jehovah's Witness?
Yeah, the Jehovah's. They I kind of had a lot of disdain for Christianity in general, I guess. This edgy teenager atheist.
Yeah.
But I was really interested in the occult, like pretty superficially, like Hot Topic, kind of aesthetically.
Yeah.
Which I think is probably how a lot of people get into it. But I don't know. I was always interested in the occult, maybe because it was something like so cut off, as a kid. I don't know. But I didn't really believe in that stuff.
In the occult.
Yeah, I just thought it was neat. So I was like pretty staunchly an atheist. So I was like, I'll just fuck around and see what's out there. I was like, I don't believe in anything anyway. So
yeah,
me and this girl I was with got this board at a convention. It was the shop downtown called, not downtown, I can't remember where it's at. It's called Cosmic Connections. They have a convention, or at least they used to. I don't know if they still do it, where like there's a bunch of, it's like a whole convention of people selling wands and boards and stuff, crystals and all that. And we found this one, we really liked it. And the first time we did it, I think it's good to preface that like we were tripping acid when we did it.
I knew you were gonna say you're tripping.
Yeah. And like I mean, I understand like that can like skew, you know, obviously your like people, you know, it's a less credible story in some examples, but you know, like when you get into like studying occult magic, it's like, you know, what is it, pharmakia is like a really big part of like opening those doors through a lot of cultures.
Mhm.
You know, like mushrooms, ayahuasca, that kind of stuff. So my opinion is that it like kind of it makes you more open-minded for one thing. So it's like you're more not I don't malleable, yes,
How
but
much acid did you do?
um
Was it a hit? Make you a little more
no
in
more
tune, or was it like
no more than two,
okay?
one or two. Um and so at first it was just kind of moving around. It wasn't really like doing anything much, but it was neat that I was moving around. And I was like,
Without
yeah,
touching it?
no, with while we're touching it. And I guess that was kind of weird, but like there's a part of my mind that like even though like I have no reason to distrust her, it's like the only possibility is that like she's moving it.
Right.
Even though I have no reason, like we've been in a relationship for a long time, like there's no reason for me to think she would do that.
Right.
But what is the other explanation?
Right.
So it's um I like to call Ouija boards training wheels because it's like even if you don't believe in it, you can just humor the idea for a minute until you're like, oh shit, which is what happened to me. Like it's the communication we were having. I was like, oh wait, that's not her. That doesn't make any sense for what it's saying to be her. It was like the first thing we met was a cat, and his name was Prince. And sometimes it would say its name like Paw Prince, and sometimes it would say its name like Prince. And
Like not a kid.
like royalty.
Royalty.
Yeah. And it kept calling us mom and dad. And it told us that she was pregnant, which we were like, that's not true. You're wrong. And it was like, well, then you need to have a baby. And we were like,
Whoa.
not right now. And
You don't think this is your ex-girlfriend's secret agenda? I'm gonna manifest this cat,
oh my god.
and I'm gonna tell this cat to fucking impregnate me already. Put a ring on it.
You just gave me a whole new perspective.
How old are you?
21.
21. Okay.
26 now.
How old was she?
19 or 20.
Okay. Okay.
All
right.
And oh, was that right? Maybe we were old, maybe a little bit older than that. Somewhere within that age range. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like 20, 22. I don't know a number. I'm so bad. But what was I saying? I'm high.
Have you had any other experiences with it?
Oh yeah.
That
yeah,
like
I've met. Well, I would consider.
was there any moments that you're like, this is without a doubt, you know, something trying to contact me?
So my philosophy about it is I don't like to put labels on things, but I agree with a lot of chaos magic concepts, and what that ultimately means is belief itself is power. So
Absolutely.
yeah. So like in that there's like kind of two schools of thought. There's left hand path and right hand path. Left hand path is like I gather power from myself, or I gather power from a higher source or some kind of patron.
Mhm.
but it kind of teaches you that either way is right, because we're trying to kind of like, okay, let's push theory out of the way and just focus on what we can do, like application. Let's expand the human potential.
Yeah.
And so my belief is, I don't think you can ever prove, which is kind of the problem with these things, if something is external or internal. I've never seen poltergeist activity, although I know a lot of people that have, like something levitate. Never seen anything like that. I've never seen something move on its own. What it's doing is it's using your body as a way to move the planchette. Whether it's a standard evoking board, it's just confined to that space, or it's, like the story I was telling you, like it at a certain point, like it felt like a string was wrapped around my finger. It was just kind of tugging. I was like, hey, look at this. And after a while, the same thing kind of started to happen to her. And like it started moving up my hand, and it felt like it was doing physical therapy, just opening and closing my hand, like learning how to use a hand. And then it started like rotating my shoulder. And like at a certain point, I kind of like purposefully stopped it and like wiggled my toes to make sure I'm in control.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, this seems chill. But after, I don't know, maybe like 20 minutes of just observing this weird shit, I noticed I haven't talked to her in a while. And I'm like, hey, can you give me some kind of indication that you're okay? And she just looks at me deadpan and like she's crying. And she doesn't have any expression on her face though. And I kind of freak out.
That's a very like, you're like, can you give me like
Yeah.
just some type of
Right.
sign? You're like, okay, it's like the most like not
Not
that.
Yeah, not
Okay.
yeah, no, that made me panic. So I didn't know what I was doing either. I had no idea. So I took her hand and I took it on the planchette and moved it to goodbye. And when I did that, like this grip I felt on me, this like it didn't let go, but it like started to ease up. Like not all the way, but like it was still there, but the connection was less and I could feel it diminishing. Um, and I didn't know what to do, so I took her hand and I opened the door, and I felt like it was tugging me back. But like I went out of the house. We were in underwear. It's 3 in the morning. We're tripping balls. I go out the back door. We go around to the front of the house because I'm like, maybe if I get off the property, like just step into the road. So we get to the edge of the driveway, and she's like, what are we doing? Why are we out here? And I'm like, do you not remember what just happened? She's like, yeah, but why did you drag me out here? And I'm like, I'm tripping balls. So I'm like, is this really her? Or is she was like, does a demon possess my girlfriend? And I'm like,
Ask Jeeves.
I'm being sus of her. And she finally is just like, calm down, come back inside.
Yeah.
And we go back inside and we don't do that for a long time. But I've had many, I've only had a couple of kind of like weird or scary experiences. But I've had probably like close to 100 like encounters with different people.
Wow, you've done it a lot.
Mhm.
No shit. How's that changed your perspective as an atheist?
Oh, I'm definitely not an atheist anymore. Not at all. Back to your question. I don't think you can ever prove if it's something internal or external until you see some kind of stimulus that's like something levitate, which I just haven't seen.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's some part of my deep subconscious or if that's something external that I'm picking up on. I find the argument about DMT very similar, where it's like everyone reports leaving your body, which I can attest to, and going to another realm and meeting entities.
Yeah.
But can you prove that? Absolutely not, at least not right now. And it's like, so I think that the argument there is also valid, that it's like we have the human mind is so vast. Like it's, your dreamscapes can be so infinitely vast. And it's like, yeah, all of that could be contained in your mind for sure.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the answer is, but if I had to guess, I think it's something in between. Neither answer is correct. It's both
Yeah.
internal and external. Whatever that dimension is within you and without you.
Mhm.
something like that.
Yeah.
That was a long-winded thing. Sorry about that.
Oh, you're fine, man.
What do you think? And no one really knows, right? But what do you think happens after we die?
Well, I think at one point, because I was just thinking about this today, just like energy, you know, just like what we put out there manifests, it does come back around in some way. I really do believe that we are very powerful creatures. You know, we are capable of so much, and we can do just about anything we put our minds to. So with the afterlife, you know, maybe the energy we put out there creates our own little version of that. Maybe it's different for everybody. I don't know.
Multiple answers. Yeah, not one clear.
Yeah, I feel like everything in life that you're looking for a clear answer, it's always somewhere in between and totally left field, and a little bit of both.
Yeah, yeah, straight up.
You know?
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, maybe there's nothing. Maybe I mean our energy absolutely goes on in different ways, and I mean, is the energy going to be sentient? I'd be surprised if it was, but I think we're all thinking, at least a lot of common religions think that it will be some sentient next level when your body passes. Like, you're in heaven, like you just remember exactly who you are, and like everything, like you're still you. Like it's like we're afraid of losing our identities through death.
Yeah, I mean, for
Yeah.
sure. That terrifies me. It's at like physical death scares me way less than the idea of like not going on in spirit, like an actual death, like an atheist death, terrifies me.
Like the day you truly die is the last day your name is uttered.
Yeah.
You know,
Sad.
who knows?
So do you think like there's like a missing link, or do you think people evolved the way we are, like just as monkeys, we just got smarter? Because it's like,
I feel like when I look at ecosystems, you take one thing from an ecosystem and put it in another, the events can be catastrophic. It could change the entire, it's like the ecosystem either rejects it or it alters the ecosystem completely. And I feel like us as humans, we're like that on this planet.
you think it just kind of happened because of the chaos? I mean, I don't think that's a bad argument at all.
So, regardless of if we're all from the planet or not, we definitely interact differently with the environment, the whole planet, all of us. But there's definitely a lot of similarities, and similar creatures to us on this planet. Dolphins are pretty smart. I don't know if there's a missing link. I can't say for sure, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was. Well, yes.
I think, yeah. I mean, like, any of the answers would probably surprise me, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I think that's the argument that we just evolved naturally is completely sound. And then I think the arguments that, it was like some kind of alien or they took mushrooms or something, I think there's credibility to those too. And I don't know. That's why I ask these questions.
I mean, could be, hallucination. I feel like that helps open your mind.
Yeah.
For sure. Like stop and smell the roses. Like that's what a lot of tripping is. So I feel like a lot of personality comes from comfortability. Like when you see an animal out in the wild, it doesn't really have a personality to you. It's just thinking about fight or flight, and it's just focused on survival. But once you bring any type of animal into your house and you're taking care of it, all of its needs are covered, you start to notice it's got a little personality. And I think it's really interesting.
Yeah.
We've just had that opportunity as a race to at one point have been comfortable enough to take some hallucinogen and you know
Yeah.
get your mind blown.
The first monkey to take mushrooms is like, what the fuck?
It's like maybe you find maybe something did find sentience through hallucinogens. I could totally see that.
Maybe it was Stanley Kubrick and it was just a big rock that fell down and the monkey touched it. You see 2001?
I love that movie.
Yeah, with the big pillar.
I love all of his movies.
Yeah.
I recently watched this one, which I wouldn't say I loved it. It's like some guy's name. It's like
Kubrick?
yeah, it's a movie Kubrick did. Yeah, it's like
the guy's name. Is it? You're not talking about Lolita.
What is it?
Lolita?
No. It's this guy's name. It takes place like Renaissance-y times.
Huh.
Oh, it's right. Barry Lyndon. That's it.
I've never seen that.
Never seen it?
Uh-uh.
It's 3 hours.
Oh wow.
Well, it's Stanley Kubrick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely the least. I mean, people rave about that movie, but it was like the least interesting for me, but still great for sure. It's just like 2001: A Space Odyssey, like that blew my mind. Clockwork Orange, that like opened my mind as a young man, just like with how I looked at the world around me,
Yeah.
And Full Metal Jacket, like that's an incredible movie.
Yeah. He's a master.
And then what's the last movie he did? It was Eyes Wide Shut.
Yeah.
Loved the tone and vibe of that movie.
Yeah, man. It's very French. It's just like a day in the life. It's like
it really is like a day in the. It's like
Yeah.
one day, isn't it?
Yeah.
The whole movie just takes place in one
It's
day.
like I feel like it makes you feel like you ever just have a day where it's like several just insane things happen and then like the next day is just normal.
Yeah,
You know?
definitely.
Like insane, and then you're just like back to normal life. You're like, what the fuck what portal did I just walk through?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
That movie definitely left me wanting more. Like once it got good, it got real good.
Yeah.
Putting up to all that weird culty stuff. Like I wanted to see so much more. And it's so funny having that feeling watching one of his movies, Stanley Kubrick, because his movies are always so super long.
Yeah.
It's like that was a really long movie, but I want to keep watching more. Like, well done.
Do you like Cronenberg?
Yeah, I feel like over the last year I've seen a couple Cronenberg movies. I rewatched The Fly. That's Cronenberg,
Yeah.
right?
He just did one this year called
Oh, I think I saw a trailer for what you're talking
Kristen
about.
Stewart's in it.
I was surprised he's still going hard.
Yeah, that movie's fucking nuts. What is it? Crimes of the Future.
Crimes of the Future.
That's it's weird.
I gotta
Very
give
Cronenberg.
Oh yeah. I gotta give Jeff Goldblum props.
Oh, The Fly.
At a time where he was voted, or like it was like the Rolling Stone's sexiest man alive, or I don't know what was Rolling Stone or whatever. But he just got the award or something for being the sexiest man alive. And it wasn't a reward. It was just like, I don't know. I can't remember. But yeah, maybe it was a magazine that I don't know. It doesn't matter. So
Rolling Stone.
everybody heard about that. And then he's like, all right, I'm going to do The Fly and be the most disgusting, horrendous fucking thing.
My man.
Like,
that's what's up.
That's who does that? Like, yeah, I just got voted the sexiest man alive, and then I started in The Fly and
changed everyone's mind.
Changed everyone's mind. And then, like, it's like his gaze is like so intense, and like I feel like before I watched that movie, I'm like, that's such a piercing, like strong gaze, sexiest man alive. And then I watched The Fly, and I'm like, dude, shit's buggy. Like his gaze is never the same after that,
Have you ever shit yourself in public?
Yes.
You wanna
Yes.
Tell us about it.
Well, the first one was high school. Every Wednesday was hot and spicy chicken day at the cafeteria. And
That's just asking for trouble.
I got
really is.
2. And while I was halfway through the second one, I just like stood up, looked at the people around me. I was like, I just shit myself. And then I walked to the bathroom and cleaned up.
Nice.
And the most recent one was 2 months ago.
Nice.
I was I was showing my girlfriend at the time, Pennsylvania, and that's where I'm from. And there's this tower called Governor Dick. That's like 20 minutes from my mom's house where I was staying. And I wanted to show her Governor Dick,
Right.
Of course.
So we just had like a crazy night out, ate a bunch of, my mom made this bowl of fruit, and the entire bowl was soaked in mango pulp. Preface.
Nice.
So it was fucking me up already. And we were both, super gassy. I probably took like 3 or 4 shits already that day, and it's like noon. So we get to the top of the tower. A lot of my girlfriends in the past have struggled with passing gas in front of me, and I'm like, you're fine, toot away.
What you gotta do,
And they just
bro?
won't do it, But this unfortunate day, we're at the top of the tower. It's a beautiful overlook. And she's like, I don't like to do that stuff in front of you, but I think I just have to make an exception. She's like, this is a safe space at the top of this tower, right? I'm like, it's a safe space. So she farted in front of me. And that's where I thought I'd one up her. I thought I was going to fart too. And it was not that. And I just like perked up and I was like, we have to leave. We have to leave right now. And like this tower, like you climb with ladders, dude.
Oh no!
It's a ladder, yeah.
No.
Yeah. So,
Bro,
get to the bottom of the
yo,
tower.
tell me you went first.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Shit.
Yeah. I go into the woods and find this meadow with a bunch of leaves and just cleaned up. And it was fine. It wasn't too bad.
I'm really glad I asked that. That was a good story.
Boy, you really did one up her, huh?
Yeah, you showed her, dude. Man. Nice. Do you have any, Phil?
Philip, you can shit in front of me.
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
mean,
bro.
I just haven't. shit
Just
in
go
public.
ahead,
I
shit
haven't
right
shit
now.
in-
Congratulations.
Thanks.
I'm
I've come very close. I just usually, I will just go somewhere. Like if I gotta pull over or if I'm in a public place and there's no bathroom, I'll just find a wooded area and just go. Like no one ever sees me though. Like
I like pooping outdoors,
it's
It's
different.
great.
It's interesting.
especially like the position, like the squat. Let's talk about the squat.
Let's talk about it.
You invited me over today to do this podcast, and we're going to talk about poop squats.
We're gonna call it the poop squad episode.
So when I was in India, that's what they had for bathrooms. It's just like a hole in the ground, and you just squat over it, and you get like a bucket to wash your hands, wipe and clean and stuff. So I just feel like your colon is perfectly lined up, whereas like sitting on a toilet, it's like bad for your colon. And yeah, just like going outside in nature. I mean, that's just the natural position you do, and it just comes right out.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
I'm gonna practice
It
this.
is
I'm just
much
gonna
easier
stand
to,
over my
to shit
toilet.
while you're like squatting like that.
Yes.
Than it is to sit on a toilet and squat.
I was
It's
feeling
true.
constipated today. I'm gonna try this out. later on, not right now, and test this.
I
Thank you
have-
for this valuable insight.
Absolutely. I have over COVID, I got a bidet.
Nice.
Nice.
Y'all ever use one of those?
I
Yeah.
haven't, but
Hell yeah.
Yeah, they're great. I don't know what, like, people talk about, like, people are weird about them because obviously it's foreign and it's something you're not used to, that sensation, but like it really is so much nicer. Like it's the height of comfort.
Yeah, it
Like,
really
if
is.
you're gonna take a shit, that you might as well. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also just like so much just cleaner. Like me, a spicy food guy, I had to have a bidet. Oh my God, saved my asshole so many times. Shit, man. Yeah, my drummer, he was like, who I live with, he was, a bit like, I don't want to say weirded out by the bidet, but he was just like, he had a small curiosity. But he wasn't like, I'm not. He was like, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna use that. And after living together a year, I heard the squirter go off when I walked by the bathroom one morning, and I asked him about it. He's like, "Oh yeah, I've been using it for months." And yeah, it's great. Everybody should have one.
Do you have a favorite hot chicken place here?
Well, I just came from Bolton's.
Oh yeah.
We've had an on and off rocky relationship, but Bolton's made sweet, sweet love today, so I'm feeling good. I'd say they were my favorite, but they're just a little inconsistent.
I had really good hot chicken and waffles last night at a place called The Diner.
The diner.
Yeah, I think it's on. I'm really bad with geography, even though I've lived here for years. But I think it's on Malloy. If that helps anybody, Alex. but yeah, that was really good. Definitely recommend that. Hot chicken waffles is a good idea.
Ooh, absolutely.
It's a good idea.
Party foul is cool, but for some reason, okay, so I had their hottest
Oof.
Inferno, and since then, it's been very hard for me to enjoy that chicken. It's just like traumatizing flashbacks, like I bought the Inferno and that just like fetal position, agonizing moans, hours. Felt better, had a beer, ate the next tender.
Swag.
That's
how it goes. You got to.
It was too much, but I'm glad that it exists. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I am a bit of a masochist with heat and food, so it's nice to get your ass kicked every now and then.
Oh yeah, we did a mock fucking hot ones on the podcast with my friend Wes Kramer.
Yeah.
He had like the hot ones kit.
Solid.
I'd
love to try that last dab.
There's a clip on YouTube of him saying, "Now everyone, don't touch your eyes." And like as he's saying that, I'm reaching for my eyes. And I rubbed both of my eyes with Mad Dog, I think it was.
Oh God.
So like 2 million Scoville or something like that.
Dude, I had like a drop of that one, and it was well,
just a little bit of residue in my hands was definitely enough.
So you ate a whole wing with Mad Dog?
Oh no, just like a drop. Like we were taste testing them. We were just doing little bits of it.
Dude, Mad Dog, I would not want to. There's literally a warning on the bottle that says it could kill your taste buds.
Oh shit!
Nice.
Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't that one. It was one of the ones. I don't know. It was hot as fuck, but
yeah,
I got it in both of my eyes, and for like 10 minutes of the episode, my friend Tiffany is pouring milk into my open eyelids over the sink in there.
Yeah, that makes me think of the one chip challenge. Have you guys done that?
I haven't done that yet.
Oh my God.
I want to.
I don't recommend it.
What is this?
I mean, it's a thrill for sure, but
So is cutting your arms off.
yeah, I vomited.
Whoa,
Oh
really?
shit.
Yeah. Well, I'd been drinking that night too, which didn't help, but I wasn't like intoxicated to the point of having to vomit, but eating that chip sure did not help. And it was agonizing. I'm just like in the bathroom vomiting, and I'm just like, ah, ah. And then the other person who ate it, her mouth was just under the sink for like 30 minutes.
Mhm.
She just did not leave the sink.
So I'm sorry. What is the one chip challenge?
It's the hottest chip in the world. It's by the company. Who is it? I know Hot Ones featured them. Their chips are usually corn chips.
Yeah,
Yeah. Was it? Is it Peckwee's? Peckwee's one chip challenge.
I think so.
I think that's what it is. Yeah. A lot of their chips are more hot than they are flavorful, I found.
Kind of like
Just pain.
Takis, just hot, just to be hot.
Yeah. So this chip, I mean, it had flavor. But once again, overshadowed by heat. Cannot stress that statement enough.
So it comes in a bag, but there's only one chip in the bag.
It comes in a
What?
little coffin box
Yeah, like you're
in
not
a one
gonna
chip
eat two.
bag. Yeah.
That's why you're not gonna eat two.
You're not gonna
Like-
eat anything ever again.
Like,
Yeah.
so you only get one chip. Can you eat?
You only get one chip. Do not miss your chance to die. This opportunity only comes in one chip.
It was. I wouldn't do it again.
I really want to try it now. Like, I like Takis a lot, and Takis I know those were killing kids. So,
Killing kids.
yeah, they were
Wait,
eating so
what?
many of them, and they were fucking up the lining in their stomach.
Oh shit. Well, that's not good.
No,
That's probably not good for
No.
human consumption.
probably not. But you know,
What's the most fucked up movie you guys have ever seen?
We were just talking about this with Will. I want to say Dogtooth.
Dogtooth. Isn't that a newer movie?
I think it's like mid 2000s.
Oh
It's a
yes,
French film.
yes. I've seen a couple lists talk about that movie. I haven't seen it yet.
It's about siblings that grow up their whole life in their yard and like basically their house. Because their dad tells them that there's like a nuclear war or something, and the rest of the world is like, I don't know. But it's yeah, they don't grow up right. They
Yeah.
grow up very messed up. I feel like there's probably a better answer than that, but that's what I'm gonna go with for now. Maybe the house that Jack built. Maybe.
I've heard a lot about that one as well. I want to watch that one. Do you recommend it?
Yeah, it's a serial killer movie.
Mhm.
It's Lars von Trier, if you like him. He did Nymphomaniac. He did what's the name? He's pretty good. I recommend it. What about you, Phil?
I don't know. I haven't really seen any movies that I would classify to be like really fucked up. I mean, there have been certain parts in movies that have fucked me up, but like I wouldn't really say I've watched anything where I would say like it's been.
Oh, Terrifier is really fucked up.
Terrifier. I haven't seen that one either.
It's about a clown. It came out a few years ago. It's about a clown.
I like clowns. I like clowns.
I like your
Yeah.
spoiler-free movie description.
Right.
What's the most messed up movie you've ever seen about? Well, these kids Grew up in a house.
Oh no! Oh, actually, now that you say that,
That's all I
Children of
can
the
say.
Corn was really, really, really brutal for me.
Children of the Corn.
That's
That-
really psychologically disturbing.
That one fucked me up. I did not want to see kids for a really long time.
That was mid 2000s as well, right?
think so.
Or early
Or
90s.
early 90s.
One of the two.
I think I need to give that one a rewatch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's scary.
I'm gonna add
What
that to my list.
Does one come to mind for you as like a most scary or most fucked up?
Most fucked up. Yes. I'm gonna write down Children of the Corn real quick. I have a list.
Nice.
Yeah, there's definitely a period of my life where I tried to watch the most fucked up movies I could. That
So
period
what's
of
the-
life was like a month ago. No. That was probably like shortly after high school.
They say the number one is Serbian film, though I'm not gonna watch that.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Oh,
Is that not the movie that you were gonna say?
Well, I just feel like Serbian film is like, I mean, newborn porn. What else? What else? Need I say more? You're like,
No.
give me a description of this movie. And you're just like, there's a kid, that house. And I'm just like, newborn porn.
well, I mean, say less. I'm good with that.
There's a lot of stuff. The acting's great. Definitely very extreme. The movie is very interesting and it's really well done. I would say there's nothing wrong with it, watching it once. You know.
Having seen it, what would you say is the purpose of that movie?
Well, I know the director said something about. I mean, the premise of the movie is this guy's a porn actor, and he like retired, and then he's getting roped in for one last big heist. He's got like family, he's got a wife and kids, and he's just like, all right, well, this one's gonna pay me a lot, and I can retire for a nice long time. So I guess I'll come out of retirement and just do one more movie. And it's like one of those movies where they don't, like the movie that he's gonna be in is like one of those movies where they don't tell the actor what the situation is. He just shows up and acts accordingly. So he's just like, all right, well, I don't know what this is going to be about. And that's fine. This isn't super unusual. And then it just becomes more and more depraved. They ended up drugging him when he started to refuse to do some things. And he would like wake up and there'd be like a camera in the room with him and he would just like watch what he did and just like, ooh, rough.
Hey.
Rough. But that's definitely like it's definitely very typical when it comes to mind when people think of the most fucked up movie. I feel like definitely when you talk about what it is, yeah, it's the most fucked up movie. But I feel like as an overall fucked up movie, there's definitely other factors than just what happens
Sure.
in the
Yeah,
film.
true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Theme and like
My Cannibal Holocaust. You guys seen that?
no.
I had it on DVD. I just rewatched it not that long ago. Great movie. I really like what they're saying, especially for its times and how the message pertains to now. It's just like the message in the movie was very hypocritical to how the movie was made. Like, you know, there's like real animal killings and stuff. Oh man, I just watched what was it, The Holy Mountain? That's another fucked up movie that was banned for a long time. Way more animal killings. Way more animal killings. And that was crazy. Really trippy movie. Super trippy movie. I couldn't find it for the longest time. No streaming services had it. I couldn't find any links online. I'd been looking for years. I just watched it thanks to Amazon like 2 weeks, a month ago.
What's that one about?
It's just a trip. It's just a trip. Everything, it was like oddly familiar in a way. There's just a bunch of random crazy stuff. and it's really visually like ooh ah, you know. I remember there's like one scene where this guy, there's like this tower where this guy passes out gold to the people, and this guy he just like climbs up the tower, he breaks into it, and it ends up being this giant, elaborate psychedelic building, and he like goes up to the guy, he's like, hey, I want more gold. He's like, you want more gold? Follow me. And he sticks him in this tube, and he takes a shit in the tube, and they extract the shit and they put it in a steamer so the fumes of the burning shit go back into the tube. I'm like, let me guess, they're just gonna put it back. Oh, yep, he's breathing in his own shit. That's fucking great. And
Nice.
so then he vomits, and then they collect the vomit and they steam that with the shit, and it turns into gold.
Alchemy.
What?
Wow.
Okay, you've got my interest.
Right. Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
I definitely recommend seeing this movie.
Okay.
It's you'll never see anything like it
I might need to see that.
ever again. There is a plot. It is a bit loose, but
I would imagine so with with that kind of stuff.
So
going
far,
on.
it sounds really great, actually.
it's yeah. I mean, it's kind of like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Like that movie's like
Okay.
a vibe,
yeah.
Okay.
and the premise is just something that's happening, and you're just kind of like sitting in on it. You know, that's how I'd feel about the Holy Mountain. Is like it's not really about what's happening as much as what's going on, because you're just like, what is going on the whole time,
Oh yeah.
but not in a
Right.
fuck this plot kind of way, more like a very intriguing kind of way.
Do you have like a favorite movie?
I'd say my favorite movie right now would probably be Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah, great movie.
Yeah.
Great movie.
Yeah.
It's everything.
It really
Everywhere
is.
all at once.
How do you even make a movie like that? How?
Lots of
Tells a
fucking
lot.
insight.
Like, just imagine shooting that movie. Like, where's the actors even showing up that day to do okay,
Yeah.
I'm doing this, but what does it mean? Does it mean anything at all?
I didn't even think about that. Just like not understanding what the fuck is, you're a part of.
Yeah.
Wow.
That movie made me laugh super hard, made
Yeah.
me cry.
Yeah.
I felt just like everything. You know, the mother figure in that movie reminded me of my mother in many ways. And yeah, it got me, man. I was feeling all the feels. I felt so refreshed after watching that movie. It was amazing.
Who's like, as far as your sound, I can't like put you in a box of having a specific sound that can relate to anybody. But who's your couple biggest musical inspirations?
Right now, I would say, the OCs.
Mm-mm.
No, they're like a West Coast psychedelic surf rock band.
Okay.
And I mean, I can't. It's hard to even say surf. I feel like they have changed so much too. Like they released an album like 2 or 3 years ago. I think like 3 years ago, that was like 79 minutes and like 48 seconds, which is like just enough time to burn that motherfucker on a CD, you know. And it was just like this crazy, like proggy, jammy album. And then they just released an album a month ago, 20 minutes, hardcore punk.
Nice.
And they just do whatever they want whenever they feel like it. And I love art that can just keep,
Yeah.
exploring its boundaries. So, the OCs, they're definitely that for me. Butthole Surfers,
I love the whole
always got to reference the Butthole Surfers.
Yeah.
Love the Butthole Surfers. I could go on about the Butthole Surfers, but enough about the Butthole Surfers.
Well, a little more about the Butthole Surfers. My uncle told me one time he saw them in a church.
Wow.
And that the drummer had fire on his cymbals.
Yeah.
To the point where it was splashing up to the roof, and my uncle was concerned that it was going to light the shit on fire.
It's so funny you bring that up.
And also they were doing a fucking, what was it?
Must have been like 89. Your uncle saw him.
Probably. He said they were doing in the background. They were showing.
Like genital dissections and
I
shit.
think it was a vasectomy
Yeah.
in reverse. And he said there were naked women
Mm-hmm.
that came out naked
Yes.
and then started putting clothes on.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead. What were you gonna say about that?
Yeah, that was the 80s, all right.
Yeah.
It's so funny about the symbol thing. Gavin, my drummer, he just showed me. He's a deep diver in butthole surfers. God bless Gavin for feeling that way too, because I thought like I've heard and seen everything. He would just like keep showing me this new content. I'm like, whoa! And he just like showed me this live video from 1989 with the symbol and like him just like pouring gas on it and hitting it and flames just like getting super high. It's just like, dude, that's the perfect thing to do when you know you're never gonna play in that venue or that town ever again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck, man.
You ever heard of Daikaiju? They stomped through Nashville a few times. They played Springwater one year. Shout out to Springwater. And so Daikaiju started on stage and then moved during a set, moved everything into the middle of Springwater. And then they got up on top of the bar and like me and a couple other dudes were like holding up the drums while dudes pounding away. Another dude was surfing while playing, and then they took their set outside and finished on top of their van where they lit the entire top of their van on fire. And that's where they finished their set.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, that happened at Springwater.
Wow.
Yeah.
How many people were there, you think?
More people than I've ever seen there. Like
Yeah, it sounds
by
like it.
far. Like
Was
like,
their van okay?
seems like they do this a lot.
Yes, that was my next question.
Yeah. Like yeah, it seemed fine. Yeah. It's like the psychedelic surfer rock, man. And they don't
Is that what they are?
Yeah, they don't have any vocals and they don't do any breaks. They just fucking powerhouse for 45 minutes. And nothing can go on after that because like I mean it's just yeah, it's wild.
Wow. I'll have to look them up. Or if you can send me a link, I would love to check them
absolutely.
out.
I think they either are playing at Cobra or they played at Cobra recently, I want to say, or one of those East Side bars. You can't remember.
Yeah.
But they're either coming through town or they just played or something.
Yeah.
Shout out to Kaiju.
Yeah. I know. I feel like my bassist friend Tyrell told me about them. Yeah. Yeah, I look forward to checking them out.
Yeah.
It's been really cool to like move here from Pennsylvania and just like in my old band in Pennsylvania, I just felt like we got to the point where like we kind of plateaued in our area, and it's like we can host bands, we can give them like $300 guarantees to play for like 40 minutes, like we could hook people up,
Yeah.
and like give them great crowds. We did so much show swapping, but the problem was when I'm trying to like book a local bill, like I didn't even know who to hit up. Like
Yeah.
there's I can only use that opportunity to like network and bring people from other states in.
I know what you mean.
So out here there's so much vibrancy and art and music that I'm excited about.
Yeah.
And it's just so cool to like, I don't know, feel excited about the music scene and feel like I'm a part of it. And
yeah, man. Oh well, Alex, if you don't know, Wynton Existing is definitely a part of the music scene, man. They're taking over. They're fucking incredible. Definitely check them out.
I'll take it.
Where do you think art comes from? Do you think there's Alex Gray did all the Tool album covers?
Yeah.
He did a painting, and there's you probably seen it where it's a guy and he's painting a canvas. So it's a painting of a guy painting, and there's all these like faces watching him, and one of the faces like shooting a laser or two lasers into the back of his head with its eyes as he's like drawing. And it's like, where does art come from?
Where does art come from? Why do we make art? What
Right.
drives us to want to do that?
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like art is just like it's like exploring your expression, learning to express yourself in ways you can't conventionally.
That originates within you.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, honestly, man, for me, it's talking about energy and stuff at like the beginning of the podcast. You know, sometimes I feel like this has happened a lot for me is I feel like I'll just like come up with lines just like, oh, it's obviously that. Like I didn't even think about it. It's almost like it's like a channeling, you know? And it's like it's coming from elsewhere. And like sometimes I'll have a song and it's done, and I'm sitting there just kind of like a viewer at it, like, what does that mean? And then something will happen in my life. And I'm like, that's exactly what that song means. What? And it like blows my mind. Like I'm like discovering
Yeah.
what it means before I've even like lived the situations. It's crazy. But you know, maybe that's also just, you know, like the whole ghost concept. Maybe that's just my own fabricated thing. You know, maybe I just found a way to make it make sense. But I don't know, man. Sometimes it's pretty specific.
Yeah. It is interesting how like it can be prophetic,
Mm.
or like you read it over and you're like, oh wow, I didn't know I did that.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, you know, sometimes somebody would be like, dude, I love how that thing you're saying that song, you know, you're like saying this. And I'm just like, what?
Mm.
Yeah, totally meant to do. Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like it's a weird thing for sure.
Yeah.
We do a lot of weird things as humans. Like we're not doing animal things. We were talking about that earlier.
Animal things like survival.
Yeah. Although as you brought up, we have like the military uses dolphins and they're super intelligent.
They do?
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's yeah, we have marine dolphins.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Since when?
Since like I was actually looking at this either today or yesterday. I don't remember why. Me and my friend were talking about it, but I don't remember what the context was. But 1959.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
What do you think these dolphins do?
It's like surveillance. They don't have like rotary guns as far as I know. But it's like I saw one with like a GoPro on its fin. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, I got dolphins.
Do you think they're willing participants? Do you think they're getting taxed by the government?
Yeah, they get like 9/10 of a fish.
That's a really good way to spy, though. I mean,
It is.
because you know they're not going to give a fuck about some dolphins, you know, swimming around, but dolphins with cameras, however.
I'm reading Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy right now, and um, I know it's not in this book, but I know in the last book, it's called Goodbye and Thank You for All the Fish, and like aliens come to like save the predominant species, most intelligent species on Earth, but it's not people.
Ooh.
So they just pick up all the dolphins and then let the Earth explode.
Love that.
It's like we had to save the most intelligent species before we left.
That's hilarious.
I was watching a documentary on Netflix, and it was talking about orcas, and they do a thing where they will rub themselves against like the sand close to the shore, and it's just to play. Like that's just all it is. It's just they just like to do that. And I thought that's weird. Like they're mammals like we are, but they're normally in the water, so they want to play a little bit in the land, like how we want to, you know, we want to go into the water sometimes. Yeah. Like that's really interesting. And like dolphins and orcas, like those marine mammals are crazy smart. Like I wouldn't be surprised if there were some space whales. And that's where whales came from.
I would love love space whales.
Space Whales.
Space Man.
Space whales.
Wait, like Treasure Planet? You
Yeah.
guys seen that movie?
No,
Dude.
but I know exactly what you're talking
I'm
about.
pretty sure there's.
That was the
Yeah,
road to
there's
El
Space Whales in
Dorado.
that, yeah.
That was the road to El Dorado era.
Yes.
And
And
Emperor's New Groove era.
the
Mhm.
DreamWorks, or no, it was Disney. Treasure Planet was Disney, but
Mhm.
around that era though.
Yeah.
Like, no, El Dorado was Disney too, wasn't it?
No, that was
That was
DreamWorks.
DreamWorks. Joseph the Miracle Child. I am the miracle child. That is the best movie to watch when you're tripping and you want to watch something funny. Is the Joseph DreamWorks movie because it's hilarious.
Joseph.
It's terrible.
Oh yeah, it's the Joseph Bible thing.
I don't think I've
DreamWorks
seen
did.
it.
Oh dude,
Oh,
Joseph.
it's check it out. It's on Netflix.
Just called Joseph.
I think it's just called Joseph
I
or
think
Joseph
so.
the Miracle Child or something like that.
I think
If you type in DreamWorks Joseph, you're gonna get that.
I'll write that down too.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Have you seen its counterpart, The Prince of Egypt?
I love the Princes
That is-
of Egypt.
I love
Oh, that's what I thought you guys were talking about when you said Road to El Dorado.
that. No.
So Joseph's the same art style.
Yeah.
Yes, I have heard and watched trailers. I've never actually seen it. So you're recommending it.
100%.
How do you feel about Prince of Egypt?
It's been a long time. I need to watch that one again.
I thought it was incredible.
It's good. It's so
Beautiful.
good. Yeah, it is. It's a very pretty movie.
I don't know if I've ever seen it all the way through, so I'll watch that one. I'll watch that one and you watch Joseph.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, there was a couple moments in that Prince of Egypt movie where I cracked up. Like somebody bumps into him slightly. He's just like, "Be careful, slave."
yeah. The songs are so much better though. Oh,
The songs are
gosh,
great.
The songs are great in Prince of Egypt.
I loved that. It's so hard for me to like musicals in movies.
Me too.
I know that's funny. Like as a musician, like when the music comes on in a movie, I'm like, ugh. It's so epic. In Prince
Music,
of
that's
Egypt.
interesting you say that because I don't like musicals, but like probably 2 out of like 5 of my favorite movies are musicals.
Really?
I feel that way too because I really like Repo, the Genetic Opera.
I haven't seen that.
And it's really cheesy because it's a kids movie, but I really fuck with Encanto. Encanto has some really good music in it. Like, and normally
Is
I
that
don't
the new
like
Disney?
a newer Disney. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Cool. I have you guys seen Across the Universe?
No. One more thing I'd like to say about musicals is I have a concept for a musical.
Yes.
And maybe someday I would bring this creation to life. The concept is I don't care for musicals. We were just talking about that. Every time the music comes on, I'm just like, ugh. And so what I want to do is make a movie where I make the audience start to have that response. So like every time the music comes on and somebody starts singing a song, something really bad happens. And every time the music comes back on and they break into song and dance, something even worse happens. It just gets really bad, really fucked up. And near the end of the movie, when they break into a song, it's just like, oh no, why are they doing this? It's like, yes, that's how I feel when I watch musicals. That's my concept. I want
The
people to feel like
perfect
I do.
musical. Just call it the
Nice.
musical.
Yeah.
The musical, yeah.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
If I wasn't an artist, like a musician, I probably would have tried acting or something. I really enjoy that kind of stuff.
Like compared to what like Miles Davis or like the Beatles had to go through to record an album.
Love Miles Davis.
Me too, man. Have you heard I think it's Bitches Brew?
Got it on vinyl.
I love that record. And the way that was recorded is he's just like they just played and played and played and played, and he's just stitching all these different segments together. And it's all analog. Like man is like putting in more work than anyone has ever put in a record. And like, compared to like, now it's a lot easier in that way. Not easier in the sense that we have more tools accessible to us, The point I want to get to is with that comes a lot of distractions. So like my mom's an excellent piano player, and she tried to like kind of like teach me a little bit as a kid, but I just didn't have the discipline to pick it up. You know, you could say that this wasn't for me, or like, but I mean, I had video games to play. I had other things that had my attention. So, do you have any advice for kids coming up on how to like discipline a craft? Because you obviously fucking shred. So
That's a tough concept, man. I still feel like I struggle with that myself, just like being as constructive as I can be, you know, and like, there's fuck all time, there's constructive time. I still feel like I could be working on a good answer to that question,
it's hard.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
really hard.
I just did it because I had to. I had to make art. I needed to feel good. I was searching for something positive, and Nirvana was a huge influence for me and got me into wanting to write music. And I just like looked at Nirvana as like, he's got a lot of turmoil, and he's using that turmoil and channeling it into something positive, by making a song. And that's where I was just like, I want to do that too. So if I feel really low in life, I'll write a song about it. Or if something's really, protruding my thoughts, I write a song about it. I usually don't go in with an intention of what I'm going to write about. Like I said earlier, I just know I need to explore that avenue and get in touch with that part of myself to make me feel like stable. It's almost like a self-love thing, allowing myself to do that. I just feel like it's just self-care in many ways, writing a song.
Yeah, and I like how it's I can relate to that where it's you don't really have a choice; it's necessary.
Mm-hmm.
It's an outlet,
So kids, if you're depressed and you want to off yourself, write a song about how you're depressed and that you want to off yourself, and then maybe, just maybe, you'll stop being depressed and wanting to off yourself.
Wise words. And on that note, Wynton Existing, everybody.
Is that what we're ending on? Oh man.
Oh man. I mean, okay.
I feel like I need to redeem that last that last statement. But I ain't got shit. Nah, you know what? Fuck it. Who cares?
I guess I could. What's the meaning of life?
The meaning of life is find your own meaning.
I love that answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything's different for everyone.
Yeah, also the finding it is part of the purpose. Is to figuring it out is part of the point.
The journey.
Yeah, man. The journey is the point.
Exactly.
I love that. That's a much better note. let's end there.
Thank you so call.
Much. Thank you so much for being here, man.
Absolutely. It was my pleasure.
Yeah, new song out. What's it called again?
Tom song. Oh, and Juicy Prevalence.
Yes. Oh, Juicy Prevalence out now. Links below. And Tom song 19th.
November 19th. Yeah, you remembered. I forgot. It's way over there in crevice of my brain. It's gone.
I got it.
You got me, dude. Thank you.
Yeah, Wynton Existing. Check him out. See you next week, Alice.
Hello. Happy to be here.